one question was, would people actually listen? So this is like a big question that people ask. And is it the case that you retain less by listening compared to reading? So for me, I have like a central truth that is true to me, which is like, I really had trouble reading, but I retained really, really well by listening. So even someone told me, oh, research says that like you do retain more by reading. I'm like, well, the research can say that, but I have a personal experience that says I understand way better by listening. And so that was a conflict, but like that didn't really matter because I knew that there's like 250 million people in the world with dyslexia who fall into the same category as me. The biggest challenge was really making the decision to not take a job after college, right? And so there was a point where like my mom called me crying because she was like so worried that I was refusing to like apply to jobs. And she was like, Cliff, like how are you gonna do all this stuff? And I had like also a ton of loans for Brown, and I ended up doing this. I built a system that had 10 freelancers in the Philippines find and apply to scholarships for me full time, and that helped me pay off most of that. And I basically like was scrappy and found all the things that I could to make sure that I could focus on this full time. And this was before I even had the idea for Speechify. I just knew that I wanted to work on my own thing. And I did like the thing that is very non-obvious, which is like you graduate from college, and then instead of like going to get like a shiny job, you go and get the cheapest apartment that you can find in Providence, Rhode Island. You're not even living on campus anymore. And like to the outside world, it looks like you're like failing. Because I also didn't know what I was going to work on. Like I had dedicated this like semester or this year to continuing to work on projects until I found one that worked. And my logic was if I went and worked in San Francisco over the summer for 3 months, I could make enough money to support like rent and food and other miscellaneous costs for that 10 months. And so my logic is I'm going to work for 3 months, and then I'm going to spend 9 months just trying to build stuff and like live like a cockroach and have like the minimum amount of spending possible. And so the mental decision-making around that was the most difficult thing, and then the mental decision-making on continuing to work on the thing when it was difficult was the second most difficult thing. Cool.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys.
You were
All right,
great.
good to see you.
So come down and ask some questions.
Yeah.
So you can do a backflip.
I could do a backflip.